everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Halloween week, so that means today is the second Halloween installation video. I'll have another one later on this week, and on Halloween day I'll have a cinematic video for you guys. I've also been getting lots of questions on whether I'll have Halloween pictures and videos on my OnlyFans, and yes, there is Halloween content there, and this week will be even more interesting. So if you're interested in that exclusive content, I'll have the link here as well as in the description down below. Now, as far as an update with the giveaway, 2 winners have been chosen, so they're here on the screen. So congratulations, you each won $75. There won't be a giveaway in this video, but there will be a giveaway in the videos to come, so look out for that. Some of you may know this, others may not, but I actually love cosplay. I enjoy it. So if you do know who I'm dressed up as, please comment down below, because I'm interested to see how many of you know who I am today, at least what character I am today. But anyways, getting back to today's video, we're going to be working on the Camaro. We're going to be installing the last missing piece, at least externally, for the Camaro. I honestly can't wait, and that is the APR diffuser. It is going to look so sick, so let's go check it out. This is the APR splitter, so it pretty much extends with these 4 fins, and of course it's carbon fiber as usual with APR. Now this is going to be maybe a little bit of work, because you can see it does have some pre-drilled holes here, but there is going to be some drilling needed, at least on the car. And this is not going to be replacing the stock diffuser. This is an add-on piece that's going to go underneath, so I also have to remove the bumper for that. But it is going to be worth it, because I've actually been wanting to install this for a very, very long time. So let's see how it goes. Now that my car is raised, we can go ahead and start. So the first thing that I need to do is remove these tips. So I need to do this just because these tips are a bit oversized, at least with the exhaust I'm running. But if you have the stock exhaust, then you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to do this step. But I'm just doing it just because of the size of my tips. They'll get in the way, so I'll just remove them. Then we start off with the easy part. So this is all of the hardware that APR provides. So we need to start first by getting these studs here on these already threaded holes. So we need to thread in those studs in there. There's also a few here on the side, and then we come with the diffuser and then we test fit it here. So you'll need something, maybe like some wax or just something where you can just leave a mark, because once we test fit it and then we'll mark where those studs are going to be, we need to come in and get to the fun part, or not so fun part, at least for me. So we need a drill here. We're going to be using a 1/4 drill bit to drill and make holes there. I know it's every single time I need to drill into my car, I kind of get a little bit nervous, but I mean, it has to be done. There's no way around that. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. We'll also need to remove the bumper, like I said, but let's see. I'll have to lower the car and raise the car throughout this installation just so I can get the bumper off. Shouldn't be too hard, just a few steps here with the drilling and removing the bumper. I think that should be like the most, at least, time consuming or the hardest per se, but let's get started. So this APR installation is turning out to be a lot easier than the other ones, especially that APR front splitter on the Camaro, because if you guys remember, that took a lot. But this one, I'm pretty much almost done. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So it might look like it's installed, but not quite. It's still missing a few pieces like here on the side. But let me show you, because I know I said earlier that the bumper will have to come off, but let me just explain a few things. So let's start from the beginning. So I didn't have any wax to mark here for the holes in which you had to drill. So I had some grease. So that worked for me. And in the APR manual, they do say that they recommend 2 people in order to align this and measure the holes where you need to drill. So I did call Chris, because the way it works is that one person would have to align the diffuser, and then the other person would actually push forward. So then that way you can mark either the wax, in this case the grease, and then that way you can mark the holes accurately, and then obviously you both remove it. So Then after I did that, I went in with an 1/8 drill bit, just because honestly, I'm just a little bit nervous of drilling. Well, any single time I have to drill, it just gets me a little bit nervous. So just to make sure, I wanted to go in with an 1/8 drill bit, and that way I don't just have to rely on the grease, I rely on that little hole that I made. And then after that, I went in with the 1/4 drill bit, with the 1/4 drill bit, just like APR says. So then that way I made the holes, which you can see are right here. They do say that you have to remove the bumper. Matter of fact, I have the manual right here, but this manual, about 70% of it is just talking about removing the bumper. The diffuser installation is just pretty easy. But once I had that there, once I had the holes drilled, then you have to remove the bolts that I put here on top, and then you have to replace them with the studs. Once I went there and I actually placed this here just to measure it, I couldn't find a justification to remove the bumper, because let's go under there and let me just show you what I'm talking about. I could see the holes. So you see how there's a nut there? Just because I already added these nuts here. So I can see the holes, and I just thought, well, why do you have to remove the bumper if you can actually get to it here? The only thing that I thought is that, okay, well, there's these columns right here that they're attached to the bumper, and that makes it a bit difficult for you to access it, and then just to put that nut in there, which is basically the only thing that's missing here from the rear if you were to install it. So I'm thinking that's why they have you go through the whole process of removing the bumper. I was just getting lazy, and then I thought, you know what, there has to be another way. I have to be able to put in the nut there. So then I thought, well, there is this pry bar here, and the good thing about this is that the stock diffuser, that stock part, it flexes. So you can see it here. Since this is an add-on, you can see that the other one is flexing. So all I did is go in there with the flashlight, go in there with the pry bar, flex it a little bit, and then that's how I was able to put in those nuts back there. So again, pretty easy. I'm guessing that the whole reason of them having you remove the bumper is just for ease of access, but in reality, you can just get this pry bar, flex a little bit, put the nuts, and that's it. So now we're just missing some last few steps here, which are just putting this from the side. So you can see that this one has a stud. So this one has a stud, the other opposite end does as well. So I just need to put this in here and then go here from the side, which is even easier here because you don't have anything blocking, and then just put the nut. And then here on these two upper ones, so we have one here, and then on the other side, we just need to put a bolt from the inside, and then that's pretty much it. Then we'll be done. So like I said, really, really easy. After going over that, I still think you don't have to remove the bumper. I think you can avoid all of that. But I mean, if you still want to go ahead and remove the bumper and follow just all of the instructions in the APR manual, I mean, like I said, about 70% of all of those, well, of that pamphlet is just steps on removing the bumper. The diffuser is really, really easy. Then, I mean, go ahead. If not, then just get a flashlight, just get a light down there, just get that little pry bar, and then you'll be good to go. So now all I need to do is finish, which is pretty simple. All I have to do is just put these studs here on both sides on the lower ends, and then put a nut back there, and then on here on these two upper ends on the side, I just need to put the bolt in from the other side, well, from the inside, and then we should be good to go. Finally finished. The APR diffuser is installed here in the Camaro. Now I do realize now now before I was talking a little bit too early, but after finishing it, I do realize why I think they have you remove the bumper. And that's because, remember, I told you guys that this was super easy because these four here on top, they use studs, so that was pretty easy just to go from the inside and then put the nut. Then here on both corners towards the bottom, that uses a stud too, and that's pretty simple. The thing that was a pain were these two upper sides here, where I told you that it's a bolt. It's not a stud, it's a bolt that goes in from the inside. And that one, let me tell you, it was a pain. It was really annoying to get to, so I did need help. So for that, if you don't want to remove the bumper, because I still managed, you would need another person. I mean, ideally, because one person would be here kind of pushing this towards the top, and then the other person would be on the inside with an Allen key, just slowly moving that bolt in. But it was a bit of a struggle, but anyways, managed to do that. So here it is. I absolutely love how it looks. Another thing is that you can tell I don't have the tips just because how the tips are, they sit a little bit too high here to the diffuser. And I really don't want that just because something's so hot. I really don't want that messing with the diffuser and something happening. But mind you, that's because of my current system. If you have a stock exhaust on this car, even if you have another system, then you shouldn't have any issues. Remember, I have the Corsa headers and then I have the AW exhaust. So I had to work something there with some custom pipes to link those two systems together, and then therefore it pushed the exhaust a little bit more out, and that's why the tips are a little bit more out. So I need to do more work on my part, not today because that's going to take some time, and push it a little bit inward, and that way I can adjust those tips better. Other than that, I think it looks great. I am so in love with how the car looks. I just really like all the straight edges, the dimension it gives it, and it also matches the aggressiveness now with the rear wing. I've always loved just diffusers on cars. I think they look awesome. So I'm a huge fan, and I'm so happy now that I'm finally done with the exterior of the Camaro. Done with the APR diffuser installation. I'd have to say that overall it's not bad. It's pretty easy, except for those two upper side bolts that I just showed you. I think that you can get away without removing the bumper like I did, but I mean, if you want to, then go ahead. It's up to you if you want to do all those steps. The only thing that I would recommend is having some assistance, at least for those two steps. The first one is to align the diffuser where you want to at least mark to drill those holes, and then the last step, which are those two side bolts. But other than that, I mean, it went flawlessly. I am so thrilled now that my Camaro is completely done, at least externally. So now it's time to move to the interior. So that's going to happen really soon. But remember guys, I will have my other Halloween installation video this week. It will be up on Thursday, and then I'll have a cinematic Halloween video on Halloween day. So look out for those. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.